Well, for the latest, we can cross to Ukraine and speak to our correspondent, Emmanuele Chaze, who is in Kharkiv. Emmanuel, good morning. Can you tell us a bit more about the implications of these government changes and how they're being perceived in Ukraine?
Yes, so there are government changes that have been decided last night by Zelensky. It has been weeks, in fact, that the president had to replace his chief of the presidential administration since the corruption scandal, which saw the departure of Andriy Yermak, as well as the ministers of energy and justice who were involved, whose name appeared in that corruption scandal. So it was expected that he would nominate someone. He made a change in that it is now a military who took in Kyrylo Budanov, who took this office of chief of the presidential administration. He is well known here in Ukraine, as we've just heard, and Mikhailo Fedorov, who's now who should be the next defense minister, is also quite known here for having implemented reforms within the Ukrainian administration with the Abdiya, which digitized most of the public services. He is also spearheading the drones initiative here in Ukraine. So it's quite a team which will bring reforms here in Ukraine.
And meanwhile, Emmanuel, there have been reports that Kyiv has announced that they are evacuating children from frontline areas. What more can you tell us about that?
Perhaps before I'm going to talk about evacuations, I'm here on the site of a strike in Kharkiv. I should explain perhaps my background. There have been strikes yesterday afternoon, 2 Iskander ballistic missiles thrown at the very city center of Kharkiv. Rescuers are still working on site. The 30 people who have been injured, 2 people whose bodies have been found behind me in the rubble, that of a 3-year-old child and that of a woman as well. They had no chance to take shelter when those strikes occurred because there was no air raid alert, and perhaps this will illustrate why the Ukrainian government is implementing evacuations for people living in frontline areas. Over 3,000 children and their families ordered to evacuate, especially because for Ukrainians there is the daily danger of being under the rubble that you see behind me, being victim of those strikes which are still happening on a daily basis here in Ukraine.
All right, Emmanuel, thank you so much for those updates. That's France 24's Emmanuele Chaze reporting there from Kharkiv in Ukraine.